car has to be accommodated, it can't dominate. But there are places where you do have to provide function of a lot of through traffic coming into the city. Okay? And this is clearly what's happening here. All of the traffic from pretty much the west side of the North Shore, Whistler, Squamish, Sunshine Coast, ferries from Vancouver Island, if they want to come in to downtown Vancouver, they have to go through this intersection. The traffic calming that we've walked through prevents them from taking a right-hand shortcut on Chilco and Guildford. That's what it's designed to do. So if you want to enter into the city, you have to get through this signal, either onto Denman or further up Georgia. Okay? Now this is a key point for the management of cities. This is a meter. This regulates the amount of traffic that can flow into the city at any one time. It's also obviously a place of congestion. And if there's one thing that you can be sure of, because we repeat it endlessly, is that congestion is considered to be a problem that should be solved by investment in infrastructure and good traffic management. That is, to put it not politely, bullshit. Congestion is an essential quality of managing the traffic with some function of a meter. There's a certain amount of green time that will allow platoons of traffic, as they call them, to get through. And then at that point, once the red signal comes on, you back up the traffic until you can platoon the next group. Right? Which means that the grid, the most complicated part of your city, never gets overly congested. If this signal didn't exist, and you were feeding a freeway right into the city at 2,000 cars per lane per hour, you would create conditions of congestion in the place you wanted least. Therefore, any excess amount of traffic has to be metered so that it can be queued up in a place with the minimum impact. The problem that we run into is that somebody is always coming along with lots and lots of money, particularly a senior government, who thinks this is a problem that should be solved. Not a necessary precondition for keeping a balanced transportation system. What are they measuring? And what are the assumptions and the biases inherent in that? Because this is what they're measuring when it comes to congestion. Congestion is the difference between the posted speed limit of free-flowing traffic and whatever you're able to actually drive. Which means that if the posted speed limit here is, let's say, 60 kilometers an hour, and you're only able to drive 50 kilometers an hour, that 10-kilometer difference is called congestion. That makes no sense at all. You don't even notice that. And you certainly don't care about it. Now, there are sometimes when you get real congestion, the traffic stops, and that gap is different. But if you try and solve that problem, you create a worse one downstream. Because here's the thing. If everybody was able to drive at the posted speed limit, if traffic could always move smoothly every place, all the time, you have to destroy the idea of the city. The purpose of a city is exchange. It goes right back to where I started. Why is there a city here? Because we're a port, because we're part of the all-red route, because we're part of a system of global exchange.